All right, we got a patron request here for Chamberlain. Yes, I wrote the name down this time. It's like a one name like Madonna or Sting or something like that. I don't know what the real name is, but Chamberlain, however you say that, chamber with a lane, Lain at the end. Yes, there you go, an N at the end. So, this is called Killer High. It is a sci-fi original. Now, this ain't your grandpa's sci-fi channel, okay? Sci-fi channel has really upped their game. I've talked about this enough on the channel. Don't take my word for it. Go check out some of their shit. They make some pretty killer stuff these days. And this is a film I had never heard of. And I checked it out today, and I have to say I really enjoyed the shit out of this one. Thank God I have gotten a few patron requests lately, and I didn't care for them, or I outright just kind of hated them, and then I had to give a review on them, and that always is not fun for me. Not only because I have to sit through the fucking movie, but then I have to talk about it and tell the person who gave me money to watch it to tell them that I hated my experience with it, and then shit all over the movie that they clearly enjoy. All right, so this movie, on the other hand, was a super fun flick. Now, I have my qualms with it, of course, mostly because it's TV-14. They should have went MA on this thing. They should have had a lot more fun with it, and I think that if it was in the context in which I wanted, if it would have been like gore central in this film, holy fuck, man, this would have been a purchase kind of movie. But as it sits right now, it's not something I wouldn't watch again. I did enjoy it. Honestly, this is what I have to say about this movie. This is what I expect from the show Into the Dark on Hulu. This should have been a Hulu Into the Dark episode. This is the kind of movie. This would have been perfect. Instead of that school spirit slasher that they made, they could have thrown this on there instead as their back to school holiday movie or whatever. This movie, and then I would have been like, holy shit, this was far and away the best movie that's ever been in Into the Dark. This blows every Into the Dark film away. This is such a fun flick. It just is lacking a couple things. You threw tits and gore into this movie. Now, that's not completely void of gore. There is some, and there's a couple that are actually pretty cool. But this movie could have really ramped up the gore and threw some tits in there, because there's some pretty hot chicks in this film as well. Man, I would be coming here and being like, Chamberlain, you are a genius. This movie's amazing. How the fuck did I miss out on this thing? So what this film is about, of course, I'm going to be getting into spoilers here in a minute. And yes, you can tell that I'm really amped up right now. I'm in a really fucking good mood. So the shit comes out of me when I'm like this. It's so much better than what I've been lately, or I'm like, hi guys, here's my review. I'm Eeyore. Fuck that guy. So yeah, all right, Killer High. So what this is about is a high school reunion, 10 years. I'm actually supposed to have my 20 year high school reunion this year. Okay, I was a class of 2000. It's 2020. Yes, my high school paid off. I can add 20 to 2000. 20 years. Now I wouldn't go, and I wouldn't even be invited because I did not graduate. And I honestly don't remember almost anyone from my graduating class. There's some people, but I'm sure they wouldn't be there. And I'm probably just trying to bang everybody anyways. Of all the people I knew that I went to high school with, that I do still keep in some kind of contact with, whether it just be from afar, like a Facebook thing where I just kind of see them updating pictures and whatnot, they all got fat and ugly. That blew my mind, man. There's so many people I know who are my age and are fucking very attractive and fit and whatever, but for some reason, everyone I know got real beastly. Speaking of beastly, this killer in this movie. So, high school reunion, there is a possessed mascot outfit that, when put on, turns this person into this freaking crazy wild warthog looking monster. This warthog is pretty damn cool. It's hilariously ridiculous. This film never really takes itself seriously. It's definitely a horror comedy. but it has fun with it, and it's got great characters. That was what I was kind of really taken by in this film. Was films like this usually have really annoying characters that I'm like rolling my eyes at and going, all right, give me the gore, give me the tits, give me whatever. And this film kind of gave me the opposite. It gave me really fun characters that I actually liked, and then it kind of skimped on the gore and the tits. But as I said, if you would have put them all together, holy hell. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's a girl who was prom queen, and she, of course, is still trying to relive her glory days. I don't know if she peaked in high school, but she's definitely dwelled on it for the last 10 years. And she is getting together this reunion, and she wants to still compete with the girl who she competed with throughout all of high school. Then there's the nerdy guy who no one remembers. Nobody there remembers him outside of like one or two people, and it's really depressing, but done kind of in a funny way. So it's like that bittersweet. It's like, that's kind of funny, but goddamn, that's kind of sad too. And it's sad because I honestly feel like I'd be one of those people. I feel like I'd be that guy who went there and everybody like, I don't remember you. I don't know who you are. You went here? Are you sure? And I'd be like, motherfucker, I'm so much better looking than you. Look, you got all fat. You're gonna better remember me. You're going to remember me this time, I can guarantee you that. Why didn't I notice him when I was in high school? We could be married now. Yeah, well, should have been nicer. Woe is me. They picked on me. But yeah, so then you've got the chick that he's kind of fawning after. And of course, her head is on her ex-boyfriend who shows up, and he was cheating on her back in high school. And of course, she finds out he's still a piece of shit because honestly, guys, we don't change that much. We really don't. Some of us do. Very few of us do. We have that huge turnaround. Like, usually, the person that you knew in school, because people will be like, oh, I was a kid back then. Oh, that's not me anymore. A lot of the time, it really still is them. Deep down, or even just straight up. It's like, I've seen a few people from my high school modern times, like within the last, maybe 10 years or something. And almost every one of them, I was like, motherfucker, you're the same guy. You're the same guy you were in high school. What the hell? Have you not grown up at all? And in a lot of respects, I'm very similar to how I was in high school. Now, I've grown a fuck ton because I was a full alcoholic loser who didn't have anything going for him. And now, I don't drink. And I'm still a loser. No, I'm not a loser. But I definitely have a lot of similarities. I'm still super into horror movies. That was always my thing since I was a kid. I still love women way more than I probably should, probably in an unhealthy way. And I'm still a fucking diehard romantic at heart that seems to never be able to find the proper mate. Like, there's a lot of things, and I still struggle with problems from my parents that they projected onto me. No matter how much we try to escape our parents, we have similarities. We take good things from them and we take bad things from them, and we work on them our whole life. So in this movie, you see all these characters, and they're all trying to prove themselves as these things happen for them and this and that. And it just got me thinking about like what my high school reunion would be like, and fact that the 10 year is coming up and all that shit, and our 20 year is coming up, and that just blew my damn mind. So the opening kills in this movie, the first one's good. The guy gets a hole punched through his head, and then the chick is killed off screen, blood splatter, whatever. That one's lame. Then we flash forward, I don't know how long, maybe a day, maybe this, I don't know. But then we meet our main character here, Sabrina, and Sabrina is played by the woman who played Abigail Hobbs in the Hannibal television series. Super cute chick. and she was the one who was the prom queen, and she's setting all of this up, and she's getting her blood drawn in the beginning, and she's like she's like blacking out as she's walking around. Some of the humor in this is actually really good. I laughed out loud a few times throughout the film, so the humor is pretty good, pretty on point, and the characters deliver it very well without being annoying or overstaying their welcome. But of course, her getting her blood drawn reminds me of my father, who he cannot deal with blood at all. Especially, like, he can deal with other people's blood, okay, but his own, fucking forget it. If he even looks down, I remember him getting his blood drawn for, like, his life insurance policy. We were at his house, and he looked down, and he was just like, you just see all the blood draining out of his face, and he's like, and he was just out, man. This guy is crazy sensitive to seeing his own blood drawn. Now, my brother just recently, when he was up here last, which was like 3 weeks ago, his girlfriend, or his wife, soon to be, here on March 13th, so his fiance, as it stands right now, was getting injections into her face. Yes, they were hitting her like this. She's really pretty now, after all the, yeah. No, but she was having some fills or some shit. And my brother fucking blacked out, full on, fell, hit his head, the whole thing. It was horrible and hilarious. So just seeing her getting her blood drawn in this and kind of queasy and blacking out. I'm actually the asshole who's sitting in there watching his blood get drawn and like taking pictures and filming it. And I think it's funny. I actually filmed oral surgery once when I was having something done in my mouth. I was taking a video selfie, and the doctor's like, I've never seen anybody do that. I was like, let me see. Let everyone see. No one wanted to see. But I did. I thought it was funny. They're trying to tear down that high school to build a graveyard. I thought that was pretty funny. This movie kind of reminds me of Slaughter High, a bunch of kids coming back to an abandoned high school building to have their reunion, except for with this one, it is not a kid trying to get revenge. This is a guy from 1928, and every 40 years, it was 1948, 1968, or it should be 1970. I don't know what the thing is, but 8s are in there. So he wants to relive his glory days, and when he, like, at the end of this movie, he stacks up all the bodies out there on the bleachers because he's trying. Yeah, everyone in this movie is trying to either prove that they're above and beyond where they were in high school, or that they are still as cool as they were in high school, which is kind of, what high school reunions are, or at least that is my understanding of them. Then she goes in, and even though she's really not all that happy, she goes in the photo booth, and she takes all these smiling pictures. Now, smiling pictures, this has always been fascinating to me. So we try to pretend that we are happy in all of our photos. Especially, I remember I was at a wedding once, and the bride was a full-on, quote-unquote, bridezilla, as they call them. She was yelling at her grandparents. She was yelling at her mom. You're ruining my fucking life. I hate you guys. This is my day. Going nuts, right? And then we go out, and everyone's fucking pissed, and everyone's crying and all this. And then she's going up there, and she's like, all right. And they, like, go to take the picture. She's like, everyone smile. And then everyone would put on this smile. And it's like, are you trying to dilute yourself? Are you trying to alter history right now by making it look like a memory that's worth having? Like, are you trying to put something up on your wall and look at it in a delusional state that you can look at that and be like, wow, look, we were all happy. I get it that that's that moment, and it's for other people, and they look and they're like, oh, wow, look at this, and it's history, and it lives on beyond you and everything, and that's what. But the whole idea that we have to smile for every picture has always kind of annoyed me a little bit. Like, no one wants the pictures to be genuine. They want them to all be altered They want them to all be altered perceptions and altered realities. Like, smile for the camera. Why smile? I get it. They want happiness, right? That's the best emotion. That's what they want to remember. That's your legacy. It's a picture. It's forever, right? But for me, I'll smile if I'm smiling. I'll smile if I'm happy. I'll frown if I'm not. I'll fucking be angry if I'm angry. Like, let me be me. That's the point of the picture, right? We're capturing a moment. You're not capturing a moment when you alter that moment. I just, when she was smiling in the thing, and you could tell she was like composing herself and trying to pull herself together, and it was like this falsehood. It was this total sham. And you are committing it to a picture. And it's fake. It's a fake thing. And I don't know, it's always bothered me when I'm out and they're like, smile, and then you go and it's cheese, and it's like, why? Why don't you want it to be real? Why can't everyone just stand here and make the fucking face they want to make? Let them have personality. Let them have a moment. Let them be real. I don't know. Am I alone in this? Is anybody else with me on this? I know I'm a grumpy old man or some kind of, I bring everything down. I take the fun out of everything. I'm not trying to take the fun out of everything. I just find it odd that we try so desperately to make every moment in our history perfect when we know goddamn well it ain't perfect. We know damn well what happened that day on that wedding. You know, for the people that were there, they'll look at that picture and go, who the fuck are they trying to kid? I don't know. I mean, I guess you don't want people angry and crying in your fucking wedding photo, but I would. If that's the emotions they want to have, fuck it. I'll tell the cameraman, no smiles. No smiles. Everyone do what they want. Everyone do what they want. There's no fucking rules here. Let's capture reality in a photograph. Photograph's worth 1,000 words. Bullshit. It's worth one word. Smile! All right. They did a great job fixing the place up. The place is a shithole, and then they, fast forward. I guess they went on some HGTV makeover series, and they came in and they're like, "You've got a brand new gymnasium. Throw a fucking party in it," and they did, and it looked really cool. I liked what they did with it. The film kind of reminded me of an MTV film, kind of like My Super Psycho Sweet 16 or My Sweet Super Psycho 16, whatever the fuck that trilogy is called. There's a slasher trilogy made by MTV, and it's actually pretty good. My friend Jeremy, he turned me on to it, and I dug him. I wish I would have had the channel. You don't have any idea how many times I wish I had started this channel years and years and years ago. I don't want to go back and rewatch all these fucking movies that I've rewatched, Like, there's some movies I absolutely would love to watch again. But there's been so many movies I've watched for the channel. The Amityville fucking franchise, for instance. Or, there's plenty of things that I've watched on this channel that I watched for a series or for whatever. And if I would have had the channel years and years and years ago, I would have been able to have reviews for all of this shit by now. I'd have thousands of more videos. So sometimes it does kind of annoy me that I didn't start it. But my Super Psycho Sweet 16 I think is what it's called. There's 3 of them. Kind of has a feel like that. It's got an MTV feel for it. MTV makes horror movies. So does VH1. VH1 made Strange Frequency 1 and 2, which are anthology horror films. And I actually really like both of them. So, yeah. It doesn't matter where your horror movies come from. It just really relies on the quality of that. I already said all that shit. The wild one from back in the day is now the Jesus freak. How fucking true this is. The scene with her when she's putting up the crucifix and she's like, oh no, God will protect me. And I think it's Sabrina that's like, oh, that's a really bad choice. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And then the warthog stops in front of her and backs away, and the fatter black guy, George, he's like, there is a God, and then her head gets knocked off like Julius's in freaking Friday the 13th 8. I thought that whole sequence was hilarious. Just the way it went down, just even the setup of the crazy wild girl now have found Jesus. It seems to go one way or the other. It seems to be all the girls that are like crazy into religion when they're growing up and they've been put through nunneries or Catholic school or some bullshit. The majority of them turn out to be the wildest, sluttiest girls you'll ever meet. They just go out and they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck everyone. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. And then there's the girls who are crazy like that when they're growing up. And then they go, oh shit, I went above and beyond and now I'm going to fucking burn in hell or something, and they get this, like, I need to repent. Or they do something that they're ashamed of or that they regret or whatever. And then they're like, oh my God, no one's ever going to love me. And they think, and they like, oh my God, I'm tainted. What man could love me? And then they got to go and find Jesus or something, It seems to go one way or the other. You either find Jesus and then get crazy, or you get crazy and then find Jesus. Or all those things are the same thing. I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. And I like that this is such a shit thing. This guy walks in, the guy that's into, whatever the fuck her name is, black girl that nerdy guy's into, and ends up almost getting, but of course that's taken from him, which I actually thought was really, really sucked. I was like, oh man, he fucking almost finally had the girl he wanted all along. And here we are. Of course, he loses out on her because they're both killed. That sucks. But the dude who comes in who was cheating on her, he apologizes to him for bullying him in school. And he's like, and then after he does it, he's like, well, I don't really remember you, but you look like someone I would have bullied. So was I right? And he's like, well, yeah. And it's like, see, all right, I feel better. That's so messed up. Holy hell, man. I was like, really? Damn, that's brutal. Like, you were a piece of shit, man, when you just go up to anyone that you were around when you were younger and go, you look like someone I would have bullied. Like, I apologize. I don't remember you at all, but I have no doubt I probably bullied you. Wow, you must have sucked. And he still sucks, cheating on his wife and shit. That was horrible. The warthog itself looks absolutely absurd. I love it. It's just so bulky and huge, and it's got like arms, and you got to see it to believe it. There's no describing the damn thing. It kind of reminds me of the pig in Pig Hunt. I want to say is the one with the giant pig, like the really, really giant pig. There's a lot of giant pig movies or big pig movies or whatever, like Boar, or they made a few of them, but I'm pretty sure that the one I just mentioned is it. But it did kind of remind me of that, but really funny. Now the whole freeze frame carnage, kind of moving around almost Matrix style as the blood's spraying and frozen in place and the camera's moving around it. The first time that happens in the movie is fantastic. The musical choice, everything, awesome, hilarious stuff. I loved it, man. I was like, yes, that's really cool. It actually reminded me not so much of The Matrix, but of one of my favorite comedies ever, which is Buffalo 66. If you haven't seen Buffalo 66, written, directed, starring, produced, edited, music by Vincent Gallo. This guy made the whole fucking movie pretty much damn by himself, with Christina Ricci and Mickey Rourke and freaking Rosanna Arquette and Angelica Houston and Ben Gazzara, and the list goes on and on and on and on. It's a fucking amazing film. It's hilarious. And there's this scene at the end when he does something and it's all freeze framed like that. And it looks very similar to this. But of course, this is later on, many years later. I want to say that movie's like 1996. And this is, of course, like modern day. It's like 2018. So they have better technology and they can do that thing better. But anyone who's a Buffalo 66 fan, oh, I could quote so many lines from that movie right now. I'm trying so hard. You're an ugly retard. God, I love that movie. It's so, so funny. Please, please do yourself a favor if you haven't seen it and watch it. Very odd humor. You'll get me a lot better if you watch that movie. But yeah, so the first time that happens, really great. Musical choice, as I said, all great stuff. The second time it happened, I was like, all right, here we are again. That's pretty cool. Third time, I was like, all right, it's starting to outwear. It's starting to wear out its welcome. Now, I wouldn't have felt like this had they had the ability to do gore, like real gore, like ripped bodies apart shit. Now, there is some, and the arm is severed in one sequence, was really cool. So the arm's off the body and blood's coming out of it and the board. So I'm not trying to say there isn't gore. There is. The head explosion, that kind of stuff, the arm, as I said, ripping out. But if you could have had like the teacher in the wheelchair, like legit split in half, blood spraying out of her with like a look on her face of, they could have had so much fun with these sequences. Now, another thing, so I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity, and it was because of the rating that they were trying to stick to. So I don't know how much of that is their fault or whatever. Another thing that I feel like they could have capitalized on, and this is my own personal thing, this is something I would probably write into a movie, but there's a scene where George comes back. So he's killed, he's pulled off screen, whatever. Obviously not killed, but we think he's dead. Then he crawls back into frame, and he's like, guys, I lived. And they're like, oh, George. And then, boom, they grab him. And he pulls them off again. And it's funny. And I honestly think that should have been the reoccurring gag. Not the slow motion, or not even slow motion, the freeze frame carnage, wrap around, sweep around, whatever you want to call it. I actually think it would have been really funny to kind of beat that joke to death. Like a Family Guy joke where, Peter grabs his leg and he's like, like one of those jokes that's just like, it's so unfunny that it becomes funny again because they keep hammering it home. Like, I would have thought it would have been so funny had George lived many, 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 many times. Like 15, like outrageous amount of times where you're like, okay, I get it. And then finally it happens like enough times where you're like, fucking laughing again. I can't help it. It's so ridiculous how much they're beating this joke into the ground. Just when I saw him again, I was like, oh man, I hope they go for this. I hope we see George like 5 more times in the movie. And he just keep thinking he's lived. And it's like, nope, he keeps getting pulled out of the frame. And he's like, not again. Kind of thing. I would have liked that, but that's my own little thing. That's not a knock on the movie at all. It's not a missed opportunity. It's just something that I personally would have done. And I really like the feud between Rosario and Sabrina throughout, and I liked their pairing up and their teaming and all that stuff. I loved all their dialogue. They're both beautiful women. Like, everything about them I loved. Great stuff all around. So I can't say anything bad about them. Probably my favorite sequence in the movie is when the body falls from the rafter when Sabrina and Rosario are trying to tell everyone that there's a killer warthog, and the body just absolutely explodes and blood flies over every single person. The way it's done, the way the body hits the ground, the way the blood hits everybody, it's just hilarious. I laughed out loud in the moment. I thought it was fantastic. So really, really cool sequence there. And then the photo booth kill, really liked that. So the guy's in the photo booth, and as it's going, it's not something I haven't seen before, but I don't give a shit. It's still always a clever kill when the photo booth is just taking like 4 different pictures that we see of the mayhem as it's happening. And yeah, I like how Rosario defends Sabrina, and then Sabrina kind of is still competitive with her. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm still gonna beat you, whatever. I thought that was great. And then they put on their cheerleader outfits. Oh, fuck yeah, hell yeah, that was what was up. That was like in place of the tits. Like, we can't have tits in this movie, but we'll put chicks in these hot cheerleader outfits. I don't know what is up with guys. I don't know if we're just like fucking all perverts at heart. I don't know what it is, but like the fact that we're so in to outfits that were originally intended for children is kind of fucking weird, right? I mean, but I can't deny it's true. Like, even though I sit here and I acknowledge that that's fucking weird, I can't help that my brain thinks that. Like a cheerleader outfit, like the place we see cheerleader outfits first when we're kids is like high school girls or even junior high girls. But we retain that attraction because that's like kind of our first interaction with chicks that are around our age. And it's like, oh my God, and then when you get older, you're still like, oh man, I want to see a chick in one of those outfits. Same thing with a schoolgirl outfit, right? That's like our first hard on. Is like you see a girl in these like skirts that just show their little, their knees or something. You're just like, oh, and then some of them roll them up and you see a little bit more of their leg and you're like, oh, motherfucker. And something about like that plaid skirt and that like, the tie and it's so hot. But as I said, like, it's kind of creepy and weird because you step back and you're like, that outfit was crafted and created for children. For children. But it's so fucking sexy. So you're just like, I feel kind of odd. And that's, I guess, maybe what also ramps it because it's wrong and what's wrong is hot kind of thing. I don't know. But I was just thinking about that when they were throwing on the outfits. I'm like, oh man, they were wearing those when they were probably like 15 years old. And that's like when we kind of realize that they're attractive because we're at that age. But then when we grow up, they throw them on and we're still like, I don't know. Like, I'm not thinking of them when they're 15 when they're wearing them, but that is the intention of the outfit originally. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? Kind of odd. But yeah, when they threw them on, I was like, I don't give a fuck. They look so good. They look so good in those. Oh, the damn fucking cheerleader outfits. What is up with us in the cheerleader outfits? But I think I cracked the case there, though. I think it's just the first hard on. It's like the first thing we're attracted to when we're on. We see the girls in the plaid skirts and we see the girls in the cheerleader costumes, and that's like really the time that they kind of get to dress like that. Where we're seeing their legs and we're saying, yeah, they can wear skirts and all that before, but I don't know. Maybe with cheerleaders, they're like throwing their legs up in the air and you can see their underwear, and it's just fucking hot, man. It's just hot. And let's see. I already talked about all that shit. I get so ahead of my notes, then I have to go back and look and be like, wait, what? I like how geeky guy here, I didn't write his name down. He gets the projector to work. So they're trying to look through the old stuff because the teacher tells them this has happened before. So they go and they find like the microfilm, which is not really microfilm. It's like slides. I don't know. But he gets the slide projector to work. And he's like, finally, I got it to work. And then I'm not exaggerating, within 5 seconds of saying that. Like, oh, I finally got it to work. And he like presses the button once. And he's like, I can't find anything. You can't find anything? You've been looking for 1 second. What are you, my children? Daddy, I looked everywhere. I looked everywhere. I'm like, really? Because you literally just started looking 1 second ago. You haven't even walked in your room yet. Oh, Dad, this is my kids looking for something. Dad, where's my shoes? Oh, I don't know. They're up in their they're up in your room. Can you go look for them? They go, I don't see them. I looked everywhere, Dad. No, Dad. Everywhere. Yeah, I mean, we might as well just go buy new shoes because they clearly can't be in this house. I checked under every fiber of carpet everywhere. And it's like, really? And you walk like 2 feet and you're like, they're right there. And you're like, oh, how'd they get there? How'd they get there? Oh, I don't know. So when he's like, clicks the thing, well, I can't find anything. I was like, oh my God, man, I wanted to ground his ass just in that moment. I was like, you're ridiculous right now. Maybe you want to check out longer than 2 seconds. And then he finds something like 3 seconds later. It is funny. It's like a 10-second sequence. I can't find anything. Oh, there it is. And yeah. Now, there is a moment in the movie where all the pictures of the mascot is like a regular mascot outfit. And then they say something that's like, the students swore they saw a beast. But then we see the outfit. So is the mascot outfit what anyone outside of the school would see if they were looking in? And all the people who went there see it as a beast? Or is it actually a beast the entire time? Then it photographs to look like a mascot? Or is this the only time it's ever looked like this? But as I said, they had that little report and it was like, oh no, they claimed to see a beast. So is it like, I don't know. That was an interesting phrasing of that. So I didn't really understand what that meant. The whole I'll buy you time sequence. Oh my God, how many times do we have to do this? Go, I'll buy you time. Stay in. I'll never forget you. So stupid. Though I did find it funny because the dude who stays behind, he's going to have his big showdown. He's like, oh, I'm going to kill you, whatever. And the thing charges at him. And he goes to like defend himself. And he slips on some blood. And the thing skewers him and kills him. That's pretty funny. Okay, that's pretty funny. So at least it ended up on a funny note. But for the most part, I hate shit like that. And then my other complaint of the movie is that our main two girls here, Rosario and Sabrina, kill the beast way too easy. Way too easy. It's over like that. She just shoots him with an arrow and then the girl cuts his head off. It's over, it's done. And then it actually shows him as if he's like a werewolf. He like has his head lopped off and it's just a human head laying there and a human body laying there. No mask, no outfit, so I don't understand that. But yeah, it's like a werewolf, I guess. Once you're dead, you turn back to human. I don't know. I will say this, though. Kudos to them, even though they killed it too easily. Kudos to them for not doing the he's still out there, he's still alive, one last jump scare thing. They didn't do that. They just pan down, guy's head is separated from his body. The girls walk off into the sunset together to finger blast each other. And that's the end. So there you go. Killer High, Chamberlain, thank you so much for your patron donation. If anyone else wants to check out Patreon, blah, 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 description below. You know the drill. All right, guys. Adios.